So this is our next job, another VL Calais. She's seen better days, got a few ripples and stuff through this front door. That door's going to be getting replaced, we've got a new one sitting there for it. Got a bit of rust and stuff around this front windscreen. Had that pulled out. Can't even open this bonnet here. Bit of sun damage all over it, the clear coat's peeling right back. The bumper bars are sitting in the car. But I'm gonna do a real nice job on this one for him. It's going Morpheous Metallic, which is another Holden, a newer Holden purple type colour, pinky purple type thing. It's just gonna be a good paint job and a basic fit up. We're not doing a full restoration job or anything. We're not gonna be paint stripping it, it just turns into a massive job. Obviously all this clear is going to be coming off on the worst of it. Once we get it back to something that I'm happy with, we'll just give it a good repair and good prime, block down and paint inside and out. Today I might just grab a couple of panels off and get stuck into them. Let's just see that we've got a bit of progress on it. I might just pull that boot lid off and maybe just start by taking the bonnet off too. Tackle the rest of it once my mate gets back. He's up working on some airplanes at the airport at the moment, so I'm not sure what his plans are with the wheels, but he hasn't actually mentioned anything about wanting any painted or anything, so. Full engine bay is getting painted. I'm going to have to see how I can open that bonnet. It doesn't seem to want to open at the moment. It is a little bit different than most of my videos, this one. I'm going to be going around, and for most of the video I'll just be talking to the camera as I do the job, and there's a few spots where I've decided to put a little bit of music over the top when I'm not talking. And if you guys like this kind of video, let me know, because it's probably a little bit easier for me to make. There's less narration, which can be a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes, so give it a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't like it, let me know too, that's fine, I won't take any offense to it. So sit back, grab your popcorn out and enjoy me transforming this old VL Calais into a beautiful work of art again. So this is the second day. This is all the work I got done yesterday on this VL Calais. The bonnet here is going to need a little bit more paint stripper. The reason I decided to strip it is because they're a pretty straight flat bonnet, and if you hit it with the orbital sander you can generate a bit of heat and end up warping those panels. So I decided just for that one panel, paint stripper is going to be the best way to go about it. Obviously making sure I taped around the edge so we didn't get any of that stripper seeping through to the inside. I'll whack a bit more on this morning and that should sort it out. Got the boot lid done, that's ready for primer. It's not perfect. It's not going to be a show car. Not getting, just hitting all the affected areas, doing some filler repairs. Give it a good primer, let that primer sit for a while. Stop any shrink back from happening, or at least do our best. Couple of guards in the process. Just hit all that affected. Through the tops here, all the clear had just started flaking off, so hitting all the affected areas. Through here, I might end up having to weld a bit up there because it's split right up underneath. So you can see I've started pulling all these body molds off. They're a bit of a bastard to pull off. They're all urethaned on. Pulled the front apart, but for now I'll just focus on those panels, get them into primer. While that primer's drying off, I'll get stuck into the body, get the doors off. There's a new door for this rear here, it's pretty far gone. You could repair it, you can repair anything, but the amount of time and effort. This front door here is really actually in pretty bad nick too. But we're going to have to repair it by the looks of it, so I don't think he's going to be getting a new one. That's the new rear door. Bit of rust around here, we just have to do our best to treat it and fiberglass it up. So this is where I'm up to. This is the third day of work. Started it on Monday. As you can see, we've ripped all those panels off and I've started getting into the repairs on some of the panels. Bit of a prick getting this door off here. We had to end up cutting the entire door off. Luckily, it was the door that was getting replaced anyway, because there's quite a fair bit of extensive damage there. So, yeah, we ended up just having to grind it out because we really couldn't get it off otherwise. But this is what I've got up to. Got all these panels prepped up, repaired. The bonnet here, got paint stripped. A few repairs here and there on it. Going to give that a etch prime because it's bare metal. And the rest of them, I'm just going to get a good prime. We hit any of the rusted areas, grinded it back, treated the rust, and then just did our body repairs over the top. It's not a restoration job, it's just a paint job. But it should come up pretty mad. It's going Morpheous metallic, Holden colour, sort of like a pinky purple colour. And there's the boot lid. So I'll put a good 4, either a few spots that aren't 100% perfect here and there, so I might even put an extra, put a 5th coat on there, give me something to block into. On these kind of jobs, I'm never really overly worried if I have to re-prime a panel here or there. But what I'm going to do is just get them all primed up, put them to the side, get the rest of the car primed up, and that will allow any of the shrinking back hopefully to happen before we paint it. Just going to be using the Concept HS primer with the Gunman AZ3 1.8mm for primer. There's those panels all primed up, so I put an extra coat on these two guards. There's a couple of spots, there was a few ripples in them, nothing major, but just up the top. So I just put 5 on these guards and 4 on the rest of them, but also this boot lid here got an extra one too, so that got 5 as well, because there's a few bits they just threw there, wasn't quite happy with, but I'm actually pretty confident that I'm not really going to have to re-prime any of these panels. There's a few bits of sealer that you can still see behind there, but that all gets covered, so it's really not an issue. Bonnet came up quite nice too. You can see it's still a little bit wet through here because that got an extra coat where my repair was. There was a bit of a filler repair there. So just three coats of the primer through the center, plus the one edge primer coat, and 4 around the edges. And this one here just got the 4 as well, same with that door over there. We used quite a lot of primer. This is nearly a full kit. You can see it's most of the way down, it's probably out of a quarter left. Using my Gunman AZ3 1.8mm on that. Day 3 on this VL Calais. I've stripped this entire door out because his one was totally screwed. This is one that came off my own VL. It was in better condition than his. So I had to strip that out, and this door paint strip as well, because they both had original acrylic crap paint on them, so going over the top of that's only really asking for troubles. So I'll give them a good etch prime, then a couple of coats of primer. Got another panel here I'm flow coating at the same time, and here is Dan out here working on the car. So it's Friday morning, big week on this VL, ready to get some colour on the insides of these panels. I've got most of the bolt-on panels all primed up in 2-pack primer on the outside. I haven't touched any of the bumper bars or the little bits yet, but I'm making good progress. I just want to get some colour on, see how this colour covers and see what it looks like. So I'm going to be using a bit of a ground coat on these. I've just mixed up my own, and hopefully that'll save me from using too much of the top coat colour, which is Morpheous Metallic, which is the holding colour. It's sort of like pinky purple, you'll see once I've got some colour on. So I've gone around, prepped them all up. I sanded them back with 180 grit first, and then sanded all the edges with some 320 softback sanding sponge. Then I went and put some 1K primer. I've got onto a good 1K primer. It's a Nason 1K acrylic is what it's called. It sands down really nice and compatible with the 2-pack base coats. Haven't had any issues with it yet, so I did that. Brought it in the booth, gave it a good blow off, and then put my seam sealer around the edges where it was needed. I did the entire boot lid because that was all cracked, but on the bonnet the entire thing didn't need it. These things don't even have sealer up the top here, so there's no use in putting it in there. They do have them down the sides, so I redid the sides and part of the bottom because all this here was not damaged at all. No use in putting more over there. I've got my clear warming up. Got some fast hardener. It's warming up these days. Nice Perth day out there, sun's shining. Winter's over. It's I checked the panel temperature, it's about 20 degrees Celsius. So it's not too cold, but I'm still warming the clear up. It's going to speed up the drying time. So all I'm going to do when I clear coat it is a quick coat over this one, quick coat over that, and then come straight back to that, put a wet coat over it, wet coat over that, job done, clean my gun out, and yeah, hopefully within sort of 3 hours we'll be able to pull it out. Heating the clear up's obviously going to help those overall drying times. Pull it out in a few hours, and we've got the body of the car out there that I'd like to get into primer today as well. So that's the insides painted, again using the DeVilbiss SGK 600BV 1.4mm. Great little gun this. Settings were not 100% full fan because you can actually just keep winding that out, and I like to just wind it in like 2 turns, thereabouts, just fine where it sprays nice I guess, and have that wound just about right out. And yeah, around sort of 20 to 25 PSI, runs pretty nice. At the gun that is. So yeah, just the Concept MS clear I used. It's not perfect, but it's all one colour and it's all nice and shiny. Well, you can see sort of these, they're just all factory runs because I think they get dipped from factory in the black coating, the black electro coat. So I could either spend a day fixing all that, or I could just paint over it knowing that there's a bonnet felt, and it's just an interior panel at the end of the day. We try to keep costs down for customers, and if we go and spend days and days working on interior panels, it sort of makes it hard to achieve those goals. Inside of the boot lid looks quite nice though. Someone's gone and put all this expander foam inside these edges, so that was all oozing right out before. I've got the die grinder in there and ground the most of it out of it. Someone's obviously had a subwoofer in the car and the boot was rattling quite bad. And that's also why I couldn't pull this out, because it's stuck in there with the expander foam. As far as this goes, they're a bit of a prick to get out, and then you're going to have to buy new parts. So I decided I'm just going to paint over it. I'm going to give it a bit of time to dry right out, and then I'm just going to mask neatly around here and just do some chassis black over that, and it should neaten it up quite nice. There you go. So this is Friday and I'm helping Dan out on the body. He's been getting stuck into it while I was doing all the panels, which are over there and scattered around the shop all in primer. Got the insides painted too. So you can see there was a bit of rust around these front and rear windscreens and around here. So we just treated it and fiberglassed it up. The roof, the clear is just totally breaking right down, so I want to get all of that off. So week 2 of work on this VL Calais. You can see we've got the insides of the bonnet and boot lid painted. The outsides are all primed. Most of the panels are all primed up on the exteriors, and we've also got the body of the car in the booth. So here's some more panels here and here. We've still got to sort those bumpers out, but they can probably wait till last. We'll get most of the work done first. Take you in the booth and see where we're up to. So as you can see, here's all the body being primed up. Gave that loads and loads of primer because I want it to come up nice and straight for the customer. We spent a long time just doing all these door jambs and the back panel here, something that's really just going to be out of sight. I just thought, you know what, the extra sanding and priming for what you gain is something that's not going to be seen. It's kind of not really worth it. Insides of the door jambs, I'm not going to prime either. And as far as inside the engine bay goes, I've just decided we're just going to sand it all down once. We'll then spot prime with a bit of 1K. We've got some good 1K primer we've got onto recently, some Nason brand, 1K acrylic, and just do it that way. I am trying to keep the cost of this project down for the customer, obviously. I put myself in their shoes, and I understand that 10 grand is a lot of money to spend on a car. But at the same time, the work is there. You know, I really don't want to go and rip people off. It's not what I'm in the game for. So by cutting a few little corners, like say the engine bay, which you really only see a couple of spots on it, by the time the engine's back in, you only really see these towers here and maybe a little bit through there, and same on this side. So as long as it's all nice and shiny, one colour, and should look fine. And even this radiator support, there's actually not much of that you even see, because it's a Calais. You can see here, you only really see that bit there, and just a couple of little spots that you can still see through because it's got the that big cover that covers all that. All this is out of sight. Obviously the battery's there, you've got wiring, and you've even got a washer bottle that sits here. So yeah, most of it is out of sight, but it will look nice when it's all done. That's probably going to be my project today, on the Monday today, week 2. If I can he wants the underbody all painted too, so we're going to get that up on our hoist outside and get the underbody all painted in some chassis black, and then I'll push it back out and see if we can get the engine bay all painted up. So my days are starting to come to an end. I've got my countdown timer on. I'll be moving over to Thailand soon. I've got about 78 days and counting until I'll be out. So I'll give you a look at this colour out in the sun. It's a pretty nice colour. Got a bit of a layer of dust on it, but pretty out there. This is Morpheous 448N. I'm pretty sure it's colour code. Holden manufacturer. They really started making some cool colours in the last 10 to 15 years. Holdens and Fords. This is one of them, and the bumpers are just going a nice bright, fine silver, and all the door moulds, so it's going to be the nice two-tone. Stay tuned for more. So to finish off, I'm just giving you guys a sneak peek at what's going to be in the next video. We're going to be going right through painting the engine bay, and we'll most likely start to get some colour onto the body and go through some of the prep work. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. If you have, give it a big thumbs up. Hang around here just for a minute. Check out my other videos. If you've already seen them, check out my channel. Check out all my social media in the links below. Thanks for watching, and this has been another Gunman production. Goodbye.